Good afternoon, guys. Welcome back to DR Sports for the Weekend Roundup show, hosted by myself, AGT. We've also got Abby, Laurie, and Cecilinho in the studio.
Ooh,
Cecilinho. Argentinian shirt.
Yeah,
so
man.
Backed on the Eno at the end.
Yeah,
how are we? Sore heads?
No, I actually went home quite early from where I was at last night because I just said if they won, I would have stayed out. Probably tried to drive into central London, see what's going on. My car might have got ruined though, but we lost. And like I said, let's have an early night.
Cup of apple juices.
Exactly, you know my vibe. But do you know what, it's not annoying, right? The whole tournament, I was like, we're never going to win this, Spain deserves to win it. On the day, don't know what come over me.
So when you come to Anfield, didn't it?
Oh, stop it.
No, because we can resume all this now.
Stop it.
Can't wait.
I just thought, I actually think England can do it. I don't know what was going through me. I just thought this could be, this could be the day that England. There we go, I can't help it.
What's going on?
England just not even fluked their way through it, but I just thought England were going to go on and do it. And then you got reality checked as the game kind of started. They had a lot of possession. When we scored the equaliser, I said, this is it. When Rodri come off, and we was 1-1, I was like, this is it. We're actually going to win the Euros for once. And then, well, it's what happened. So
Yeah.
Laurie?
You know what? I was quite philosophical about it because I said after the show yesterday I was disappointed, but I wasn't gutted because let's be honest, man, we didn't really deserve to win.
Spain
we didn't deserve
to
to win the game. We didn't do enough in the tournament to suggest that we were champions. So I kind of look at it as a partial success that we got to the final. Before the tournament, I'd made us one of the pre-tournament favourites. And I was saying that the minimum requirement was to get to the final. We did that, so.
Yeah, we did, and we'll dive into the hows and whys of yesterday. Also touching on Argentina winning Copa America last night, and other news, including this actually, which has just come in from Fabrizio. Says City sources confirm once again they are currently not working on a deal to sign Dani Olmo from Leipzig. They are currently not, so it looks like he's there. If you are joining us on YouTube, smash that like button. Let's get your thoughts in over last night. Did Spain deserve the win? They did. Could England have done a lot more? Of course they could. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Abby?
You'll take Omar, right?
Oh yeah.
We'll all take him on this one, right?
Yeah, why not?
Cool.
Abby, we watched the game together, didn't we?
We did.
What a blessing.
Spent so much time with each other.
A lot of time. 25 years.
25 years.
What do you feel the morning after the night before?
Similar to kind of what Laurie said, like I felt as the tournament went on, we didn't play well. I mean, I was trying to work out a game where we actually played well for the whole game. I think you could probably go Netherlands. I don't think we were good the second half of that game, but first half, like we were very bitty this tournament. Like the first 25, 30 minutes, in the opening game against Serbia, played well, then fell off. I thought we were terrible against Denmark. I didn't think we were very good at all against Slovakia, I didn't think we were very good. Obviously, we had that amazing moment. We had a 10-minute spell where we were good and obviously won the game, moments of brilliance. Switzerland, again, good moments.
Your boy had a lot to play in a lot of these bad performances.
It's not just on him though. We'll talk about Kane. It's not just about Harry Kane. There's multiple players that did not turn up this tournament. Phil Foden being another one, but I guess we'll talk about that. But there wasn't a full 90 minutes of football that I could get excited behind. So obviously we managed to get to a final, which is brilliant. Second final in 3 years. You have to give credit for that. Yep. But at the same time, in terms of progress, I actually have seen it more of a regression to the last Euros because of the style of play and how we've been playing. This was an easy side of the group. These are teams that on paper, I know football isn't played on paper, but on paper, England should have beat comfortably. And it's frustrating, obviously, that we couldn't do that. There's a lot of factors, you have to think about how long a season is as well. Like these players are absolutely knackered and you could see that. And that is a big toll of playing at the highest level and in all European competitions. And that is the toll it takes, not just on England. This is other teams of other countries and other players as well. But I think you definitely saw that highlighted with a lot of these players. I think obviously Gareth Southgate has been an incredible servant to England. I've said it multiple times that he's been brilliant in terms of what he's done, bringing the country together, changing what England was, connecting us to the team again. But I think it always was one tournament too long. And I think if you look at, obviously, the tactics that have been kind of deployed or lack of tactics in this tournament, you just see how weak we are. And, defensively is always something that we've said we're really weak at. Well, actually, our defence was the best area of the tournament. Mark Gay was my player of the tournament for England for me.
Saka, I think.
I think him and his first major tournament, coming straight into that England and coming straight in, absolutely brilliant.
I was quite surprised you said Saka as well, but
I'd say Saka, man.
Also
listen, it's not his fault that he had to play right wing back, left wing back, right wing.
But I think the highlight of like Gareth Southgate is done now.
I agree with everything
win or
you just said, by the way.
if he won the Euros, would you?
I think he was going inevitably, but
it's the best time to leave on a high.
Yeah, the race has been run, and go out now while you've still got, there's still that credit in the bank that you've got to another final. It needs to go in a different direction, and I know that we all want this England team to play like English Premier League teams do, or how club teams do. There's a very big difference of tournament football and having that togetherness and being able to work like that on the biggest stage.
Like Spain played like a club
It did, but that has been in the works for, obviously, look, he's been with us a long time, Gareth Southgate, but I feel like that's not his style of play. Like, De La Fuente came in and said, I'm changing the tiki-taka style. That's not the style of Gareth Southgate. So whoever our next manager is, whether it is an Eddie Howe, whether it's Pochettino, various things, if we want England to play a specific style of play, it has to be that type of man, like a Klopp or a Poch, arguably, someone that is going to play more free-flowing, stylistic football.
I think ultimately, everything you said I agree with, by the way. I think Gareth Southgate's position is untenable as manager. I don't think he will stay. I think he's an intelligent man. He will know the direction of travel. He can feel the vibe. He said so during the tournament. He suffered some personal abuse, which obviously we don't condone. But he knows what time it is, man. His position is untenable. Like Abby said, he's done a lot of good things to improve the squad, the harmony, the diversity. All those things he's done really well in.
He's done that better than anyone ever, I think.
Yeah.
All that stuff,
and let's be honest, his record in tournaments his record in tournaments is commendable.
Quarter-final, semi-final, final.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. However, if we're going to be brutally honest, do you see Gareth Southgate as a man that can get us across the line and actually win these major honours?
No.
I say no.
And do you know what? We say no, but it was a penalty shootout against Italy. It was a few missed penalties. Yeah. It was 2-1 in the last 5 minutes against Spain. There is hope to take from it, and I do believe that England going forward with that team and the right manager playing the right players in the right positions.
Oh, yeah.
With the right tactics, we'll win something.
It's a good way to look at it.
They will. I actually look at it and think they're good. They're good for the future.
Yeah, listen, we've got the players. I mean, it's funny because I had a discussion with my son this morning, and he was kind of a bit pro Southgate, and I was saying to him, Daryl, it's my son.
I know Daryl. Pick him up.
I said to him, let's be honest. If you give,
I'm gonna have to let him know that's his son. That's my son.
If I could just finish before I was rudely interrupted. If you gave De La Fuente England's players and Southgate Spain's players,
that's a good point.
Who's going to win that game?
Yeah, and which players would De La Fuente pick for his England team? It wouldn't be the same players as Gareth Southgate.
He's also he's quite a decorated manager in terms of international football. I think he did the under-21s, under-19s,
under 21s.
Yeah, he's been in the system, like in that Spanish system, a long time, and obviously had a big idea of how he wanted to change it when he got his moment, obviously with the main national team. But obviously he's been on that journey with the players as well, so he knows those ones that are coming through, obviously the ones that are kind of at the back end. Like
Southgate's similar. I know it's different style.
It is. It's just a different style and how you implement.
Who is the under 21?
And if you remember, just quickly as well, if you remember when he took over, don't forget Spain had come off that shambolic World Cup.
True. That is true. He's turned it well around.
So
didn't they win Finalissimo? No. What did they win? Nations League.
They won. I believe so.
I think Portugal won the first Nations League and then Spain won. I think potentially.
Yeah. Remember in the World Cup they got put out by Morocco. And a lot of the Spanish fans were.
Lee Carsley is the under 21 manager, the former Everton midfielder.
And they won the Euro. The under 21s Euros. I don't know if you saw.
I do think the FA likes to work like that though. They promote from within. It's almost like you have to do your work experience and then you get your full-time job.
Which also isn't. I mean, it's not too bad when it comes to international level because you grow with them, you come with a style of play, and it kind of beds in quite easily. But I think with this England team, there's a lot of decorated players at their clubs that need a manager that can kind of re-infuse them and like you said, play to their strengths, not just play a Southgate tactics, because the situation
needs to evolve. As Abby said, when Southgate took over, we was a bit of a shambles. He came in, he did a lot of good things. He's taken us to a certain point. But if, like I said before, if we're going to win major honours, we're going to have a realistic chance of winning the World Cup in 2026, which I do think we do have the players in order to do so.
Okay, can we need a manager. Can we do this? Because we did this on bias.
You want to interrupt again?
Just briefly, we're going to just create a little activity. The two players, then, in 2 years we have the World Cup. What players don't, from what we have right now in the squad, don't make it to that World Cup for you guys?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Walker.
Walker, definitely. Kane.
Kane goes. Just
he will go, but
he will go.
Yeah, this should have been his last tournament, I think, for England.
He's 31. Are you mental?
Actually, when you said that to me the other day, he's only 31.
He might be going.
Yeah, okay, so he's going. Okay, no, I'm not even saying start. Okay, so he's going to go.
Not start, though.
Goals this season.
No, I'm not doubting that. But what I'm saying is, if
he had a terrible tournament.
I know, but not as the main guy, though.
It's clear, as we've been saying, he's been carrying an injury.
In the next 2 years.
And now it's obviously coming out in dribs and drabs that he hasn't been fully fit.
So he's in the World Cup squad?
Absolutely, 100%.
He's in the squad, but I wouldn't start him every
game.
game.
I've never known a player so disrespected.
I've got to pull you up on that. Before the tournament, everybody was saying that this man was the best number 9 in the world.
Which he is.
You're right. No, listen, I'm not, I said that myself. Like you said, Abby, you come off a really good season in terms of scoring goals for Bayern. Okay, they didn't win anything. But 40 odd goals
44.
we got? So you can't just say off the back of this one tournament that he's finished. I think it's pretty apparent that he was carrying an injury. My problem with all of that is the manager. You knew he was carrying an injury, yet you still played him game after game after game. It's not Kane's fault, it's the manager's fault.
Okay, so
this goes to what we're saying about a manager that doesn't have the tactical acumen. He doesn't have the courage to make those big decisions.
So he's in the World Cup squad for you? In 2 years?
Yes. If he's fit and available and playing well, then yes.
Let me ask this one, and I know, I do think he is the best number 9 right now in Europe as well, but it's 6 finals, 0 wins, 0 goals or assists or trophies. I think in the last 2 Euros finals, it's 1 touch in the opposition's box. In the finals, though. In final. He's had 1 touch in 2 Euro finals in a row.
He had it
to start.
He had the injury in the last Euros.
To be fair to Gareth Southgate,
I suppose it's not on it.
The one thing Southgate did was bring on Watkins after 57 minutes.
And that changed though. It did change. You saw it.
But it begs the question: should Kane be starting? Take him 100% for the experience, but to start.
Well, that's
ineffective
the
in finals.
That's the decision.
I would have
started
Watkins.
Which it is. Why is this suddenly Harry Kane's decision? Like this is 100%. The manager picks the team. The manager decides if Harry Kane is not fit,
turn it down,
he shouldn't be starting. Absolutely, it was clear from that first game something was wrong with Kane. I've watched him for 10 years. Every single person that watched him every week for 10 years said he doesn't look right. Immediately, that second game, you said he's really off it. There's something not right with him. I've never seen him play as bad as he has this tournament. He has to be injured, and now it's coming out saying that, yes, he wasn't fully fit, etc. Blah, blah, blah.
So as a captain, he should never have gone to the manager and said, look, we don't know the conversations that have gone on. But
I don't know if you
heard captain, he plays.
He'd never do that. Though.
Yeah, I don't think he would.
And in a semi-final, if he was going to rest him, the time to rest him would have been in the group stages, or it would have been round at 16, or even in the quarterfinal. If he wasn't going to do it then, he certainly wasn't going to do it in the semi-final or the final.
Yeah, he was never going to rest him in the group stages either, though, because people would then be questioned why you're starting Kane.
But you can say that if he's carrying an injury and he needs time to rest, you can say, well, the Denmark game we didn't technically have to win or whatever. Or especially
so when did he pick up this injury, Abby? Do you know? Because it feels like
I don't know.
He was playing bad in my opinion, the whole tournament. Because I was screaming for Ollie Watkins, but surely if he had an injury at the beginning. Like Shaw had an injury and he didn't start.
But we don't know if it was something that was coming off of the back of last season, and he was fit, but he wasn't at his peak.
Apparently, it's a back injury that affected his
and
mobility.
when you're playing every 3 days, or 4 days, there's not that much time to rest and recuperate. If he was going to rest him, he should have rested him for some of those group games, or at least one of those group games. And that comes down to the manager. That's not on Harry Kane. There are other members of that squad that did not turn up this tournament. Phil Foden being one that I will absolutely highlight because he had such an unbelievable season. You have to not just look at Harry Kane, and the weight always falls on him because for some reason he's absolutely just hated in this country, and he's such an unbelievable forward.
Who's
Harry
saying?
Kane, he gets so much stick.
No, we get a lot of other players get a lot of stick as well.
Oh my God, I've never known anyone to get as much as Harry Kane. He's the
Are you
England
serious,
captain. He gets so much stick. He's an unbelievable player. Everybody has called out Harry Kane this whole tournament. Yes, he's been really poor. He's been absolutely crap, right? He really has. And I've said that on here the last couple of weeks. But he's not the only one. So let's call out the other players.
Okay,
Does it
let's
fall
do
on
that.
him because he's the captain?
Listen,
Him saying he's the
100%
most
agree.
criticised
It's
is
not
crazy,
just
though.
Kane, it's a lot more. Did you hear this about Declan Rice talking about other players and not just pinning it on one? Rafael van der Vaart on
Said
Dutch
he's
TV said 100 million for Declan Rice. What does he do? He comes to collect a ball to pass it back to John Stones. He's useless. If you are truly worth 100 million, then you should be able to play a ball forward.
Didn't have a great tournament.
Dickhead. No, that's ridiculous.
That's spoken as a real
ex-Spurs player. That's what it is. And
that's what it sounds like.
Talking about a price tag, like Declan Rice dictates his price. He doesn't do that. He's an ex-player, so he should know that that's not down to him. Plus, Declan Rice, if you look at the England side, how do you go to Declan Rice and say you're useless? Are you mad?
Of course he's not.
He's a great player.
But again, he didn't have a great tournament.
He didn't, but what he's saying
there,
there is
I don't take those comments seriously.
That's crazy.
That sounds like...
I don't agree with it.
Do you have the context to those comments?
Well, he was just reading off names on England and just going in on Bellingham.
To me, that sounds like an ex-Spurs player.
Ex-Spurs player. You could talk about Kane in the same way.
I wouldn't even
say that.
What about Kyle Walker for the two
club.
goals? You're looking at, and we'll get into the super chat shortly after this. The 2 goals on Kyle Walker's side, pretty much fell asleep for the second one.
Didn't have a good tournament.
An awful tournament, and very lucky to still be starting at that stage of the tournament.
Again,
Trent, I know
the manager's showing loyalty.
I'm going to defend my guy.
Harry Kane, even my player. I just think the disrespect he gets is wild.
I respect you.
I said to Doyle earlier on our pod, right? Trent would start for Spain, Brazil, Germany, France. He would start for all these teams. You got to unlock these guys a little bit.
I don't know why Kyle Walker though was so bad, because for his club he's really good.
No, but he's had a bit of a howler second half of the season.
Towards the end, but I just think he was quite. It wasn't just yesterday's game. He was quite out of position throughout the whole tournament. And
if that was Trent, we all know what would be happening.
Yeah, of course he'd be getting absolutely slated.
But you saying he get caught out of position? If we're being honest, Kyle Walker has often been caught out of position. The thing that gets him out of it is his pace.
Against Slovenia, he got nutmegged twice in the first 5 minutes.
But you know what was particularly disappointing about Kyle Walker was the first goal, because we'd done so well to keep Spain out. They not really had a shot, even though they had like up to 80% possession in that first half. Didn't really create too many chances on goal. So we got through that first phase. You're thinking, okay.
I think they did create a couple though.
Within 2 minutes of the second half starting, he fell asleep, let them in, and they scored. And then obviously the complexion of the game changes there.
Yeah. We're going to ask you in the chat as well. Did Robbie saying believe about 1 million times jinx the final? Because one of the super chats says that Abby was spot on from Clara Bitsy. Abby was spot on with all of her predictions all tournament, only for Robbie to jinx it with his believe video. So we'll ask you, we'll put a poll up and see what you think to that one. Tina says, why start Kane when injured? Why take Watkins and Tony and not start any of them after 7 games?
And Gordon play at all as well. Not say if he's not a striker.
And Morton just came for vibes.
Oh, Morton, of course.
And Gomez and Lewis Dunk. There's loads of Jared Bowen had 10-15 minutes first game and never saw him again.
Yeah, that was crazy, isn't
Mental.
it? Nico says that Jamaican Militao wearing a winner's jersey.
Yeah, man. Yeah, back-to-back winners of the Copa America. We got Argentina, man. I was there. No one won the World Cup as well.
Clara Bitsy says, Cecil, will Saka join the pre-season tour in the US?
So it's actually a great question, because
if he's out of Cucurella's pocket.
Clara.
So.
Yeah.
Did you see that little...
Actually, wait, what am I talking about? Hold on, wait. Cucurella... Saka was ripping him up most of the game. I know he had a good tournament, but don't get twisted. No, Saka was good against Cucurella. 100%. Even when we play against Chelsea, he gets ripped.
Yeah, but ripping him
he's not in his pocket, though. He wasn't in his pocket. No way was he.
Who won?
No way. Yeah, but
are you saying that? Do you have to prove yourself to the Arsenal fans out there by saying that?
No.
It's a complete lie.
It's
he
not
did
a lie.
not do that.
It's not a lie.
He was ripping up Cucurella the whole game.
Cucurella didn't have the better of Saka, in my opinion. Cucurella had a good tournament, but in that game, Saka was better.
Stand on your ting, man.
You
said he ripped him up the whole game.
He got past Cucurella multiple times. Do you want to watch it back? We'll go after this. I'll get the highlights. Yeah. Okay. Let's see if Cucurella won the battle. Luke Shaw won the battle on Yamal, and that's a fact. And Cucurella did not put Saka in his pocket. They won the game. Cool, but he didn't put him in his pocket. Clara, relax.
Off, mate.
It's funny, isn't it, how people see the game so different.
Did you see that?
And that's what we love about football. Everyone's got a different opinion on how they view the game.
Cucurella was very aggressive, and I don't think Saka liked it.
Saka cooked Cucurella all game.
I didn't think
he didn't have him in his pocket though. That's what Clara said. Was Saka was
no, but that's what you said, bro. That's what you said.
I know, but she said he had him in his pocket. Was Saka in Cucurella's pocket for you then?
No, I wouldn't say that
exactly.
either. But
so then, what are you arguing?
All right, let's move on, because we could do this all day.
I just don't like Cap.
Mamo says KG needs to add Raul singing "It's coming home" to his soundboard. Love these Euro streams, by the way. Shout out to you all. So many funny moments. It has been a good run. A good 33
I'm ready to
days.
I'm ready. Regular.
Yeah, I want to go back.
Get me on pre-season tour next week.
Firing shots everywhere. Ashit says, sorry? Yeah, Ashit says, if I say England as a country and fans should dissolve their national team and league and start a PR agency, maybe you guys will win a trophy in that. Good point. Clara Bitsy.
What? Because England's PR...
Yeah, it's just he's sending shots, mate. Don't worry about it. Clara Bitsy, Foden ended the tournament as the real 007. 7 games started.
Anyone want to speak on that?
0-0-0.
Yeah, I'll speak on that. He's been disappointing again. I mean, he was disappointing in the World Cup. Did his little tribute to Gaza. That fell on his face, and he's been disappointing. And again, and I will say one thing, right? I don't like when fans of, it turns tribal where everyone's like, earlier on, everyone was blaming Trent, then he moved to Harry Kane, Saka got his fair share of the stick. To me, that's all ridiculous. Everyone was, not everyone, but a lot of people were culpable. So you can't just blame things on just one player.
Black Wolf says, what is annoying about you guys? You guys always say England has better quality than Spain, but historically, in international and club football, Spain always cook y'all. This is crazy. Kind of, yeah.
Both things can be true. I mean, would you say, is it remiss to say that squad that England have got was better than Spain's? I think it was.
No, England's squad was much better than Spain's.
So,
Stephen Island's grandmother says, would Team GB have won the Euros? I don't think there is a Team GB in the Olympics this year.
I haven't seen the squad. No, I don't think I've seen it.
I remember the 2012 squad though.
France
are cooking,
crazy.
St. Marlowe says England is the Spurs of international football.
By the way, Elisa is playing for them.
Didn't have any Spurs players in this squad, but you're still going to blame us.
Terence says England ahead or draw. They play defensive, invite pressure, but all-out attack when behind. It is true. It's like the reverse tactics, isn't it?
Or is it that we relied on clutch players to provide clutch moments?
Moments FC.
I don't think there was anything tactical that we said right.
Nothing.
CRZ says England is like Spain without the S. GP says drop a Trent. We can't play midfield. Can't play as a right back. Well, he didn't play, mate. So hold that. SN says England will win nothing with Southgate. He's their OGS, period. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Crookie says if Kane was injured, he's disrespected the team. He shouldn't have played. Embarrassing from Kane and Southgate.
It's literally on the manager.
Jake says Van der Vaart spitting facts.
Let's not even go there. It's rubbish comment.
Gemini says Escaloni won 3 major trophies with 0 coaching experience, by the way. Vamos Argentina. It's hilarious watching you guys say the same stuff again and again. We'll get on to Copa America soon. Crovian 18, when your captain is a certified loser who is 30 years old without a trophy in his career, why is it a surprise that you guys are losing finals and never winning anything?
Track to Bayern fans, innit?
The Kane curse, they say.
Mamo, I'm not a Spurs fan, but this Kane and World Cup talk is just disrespect. It's obvious it was Southgate and his tactics, hack tactics, I should say. Even Di Matteo would have done better. Axel says, I'm with you, Abby. Kane gets extremely disrespected. He's perceived as the biggest loser, and I have empathy for how much the world clowns him. And then Sai says, it's been 60 years. Believe ain't winning shit. Spain are brilliantly technically and deserve the tournament, which we're not saying they didn't. Right,
they
7
did.
games. They knocked out the host. They knocked out the holders.
Lose.
Croatia, France, England.
Nation to watch as well.
That's
incredible.
You cannot. That team that does that in a tournament will win.
I think
the tournament.
their 7 wins is the first time that's been done. So,
yeah,
to win
crazy, right?
All 7 games.
The only nation to win back-to-back Euros.
It looks like
not the last one, but I'm saying they're the only nation to ever do that as well. They're doing well. Big them up.
Yeah, England flying home today after their Euro 2024 final defeat to Spain. It wasn't coming home, and it probably will be the end of Southgate now, but of course we'll talk about that if and when it comes. Lamine Yamal winning the young player of the tournament at 17.
See the videos of him and his little brother as well. Like, it's just like this is crazy.
So that sets up a finalissima final.
Going to be quality
between Spain and Argentina.
What a
Where's
game!
That going to be, do you reckon?
I don't know. I was at the last one, obviously at Wembley against Italy, when it's Argentina, Italy, but I don't know where this one's going to be. But it's going to be a big game. Normally, finalissimas, I don't think many people pay too much attention to them. But
there's only been like 2 of them, right?
Yeah, I'd encourage people to tune into that, because that would be a
Rodri, player of the tournament. Do we all agree with that, or is there?
I wouldn't disagree with that.
Maybe got a bit unlucky.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
He's exceptional. He's just
7
ridiculous player.
Yeah, again, him coming off at half time, England should have just thrown the kitchen.
Do we know the nature of that injury?
Zubimendi come on and
again,
well,
that is something.
It was from blocking Kane's shot.
But again, that speaks to the manager having the courage to say, look, you know what, you're not quite at it. Would our manager have done similar?
No,
or would he have
kept him on,
encouraged him to play through it?
Any other shouts for player of the tournament that we can think of off the dome?
It's the youngsters, really, isn't it, for Spain? But Mal, Nico Williams.
Nico Williams was great.
I think it was quality.
Top goal scorer? No?
Joint top goal scorer.
Anyway.
Along with a certain Harry Kane.
Alma as well.
Do you know what? I will actually say Dani Olmo was so good, because he wasn't actually starting games until Pedri. I think it was Pedri that got injured.
Correct.
And he was so good when he come into that Spain side. I mean, he's always been quite a good tournament player, like whenever I've watched him, obviously. But I think he made such a difference as well to that Spain side, and to lose Pedri in that midfield 3 that was so strong, and then come in and do an even better job.
Quality. Yeah,
so,
I just wondered what you guys thought of the overall tournament, because a lot of people have been saying that in terms of the football, that it was one of the worst tournaments of recent times. I just wondered what you look
quality.
Yeah,
I'd agree with that.
You would?
I would agree with that.
It wasn't one of my favourite tournaments.
No. Definitely the World Cup was better, right?
I mean, when own goals are kind of the main standout, own goals are like the main contributor to the goals when it comes in a tournament. It kind of shows.
That was because there were so many teams that were so I mean, France were dreadful. Portugal were pretty awful. Belgium were awful.
Pants.
England, Italy. Even though we got to the final, we didn't move the meter, did we? No. So, yeah, I hear what... That's why, in a way, although we're obviously disappointed that we lost to Spain, they are the deserved winners, because right from the start, they kind of lit up the tournament. And that doesn't always happen. Sometimes you get teams that are not particularly good, and they end up winning it. But at least Spain, everybody without unequivocation could say Spain were the best team.
I agree. Should we move on from the Euros, go to Copa America?
Yeah, I'm hurting a little bit. I mean, I can't lie. This Euro talk is just...
Yeah, I'm over it now.
Over it, yeah.
I'm over it.
Done.
Let's move on.
So, yeah, 1 o'clock in the morning this game kicked off. Argentina, Colombia in Miami, I believe. Was it in Miami?
MetLife Stadium was in New York, I believe.
Hard Rock Stadium.
Am I going crazy?
It was
Hard Rock. Hard Rock, sorry.
It was 1-0 to Argentina in the end. Extra time. Lautaro Martinez, 112th minute.
Top goal scorer as well.
Top goal scorer. Di Maria played his last game for Argentina and goes out on a trophy. What a career, by the way.
He was in that game. Honestly, as well. He was quality.
What a career.
I watched highlights. His quality.
The longevity is crazy. I remember playing Benfica at Anfield in like 2006, and he was playing for them. It's crazy.
Big up Christian Romero
and Licho Martinez at the back. Alexis McAllister,
my defender.
Big up him, Liverpool player.
I didn't see the game, but that whole South American football thing has got an interesting dynamic now, because Argentina are all powerful, but Brazil, it seems like they're on a real downward spiral.
There's a lot of concerns about safety and obviously fans jumping in as well into the stadium. They were going through the vents. I saw so many. In my group, CONCACAF group, they were obviously talking about the World Cup in 2 years. They got a crack down, I think, on a lot of the fans and security wise.
Are they fit to host a tournament?
Well, that's
for a world globe stage.
From at this moment of time, if you're asking me, I wouldn't say so, but I think you have to massively improve when it gets to the World Cup, because it's obviously a different beast, different animal, but they should be prepared for when it comes to it. But going on to the game, like you said, like Argentina.
Did you watch it? Or
no, I went to bed. I watched extended highlights. But I also saw Messi obviously get injured, his ankle. Ooh. But his ankle got injured, I think, early on. Well, when I saw it, got early on in the game, got injured and carried on until past half time.
He looked huge.
It's blown up, blown up, and
badly.
like. But he, even when he was playing with it injured, he was still putting crosses into the box and doing really well. So fair play to Lionel Messi, and him on the bench. He was in absolute floods of tears. It was actually I know we joke about when Ronaldo that cries in there, but actually seeing Messi break down on the bench coming off was a lot to see. But fair play, they won it in the end. So no, good things.
Yeah, it was his right ankle that got very, very swollen straight after it happened.
I wonder if he'll go on until the next World Cup.
Emotional.
Messi.
Do you know what? With him playing in America now, I think that will be his last one. So I do think he'll do it.
Yeah, I think he will as well.
I think he'll fancy it.
Can we quickly, before we continue talk about the game? Sorry, just talk about, because we did this again. Sorry, on bias, the Ballon d'Or nomination. Who you'd put forward? Because I see people in the chat saying Messi, but playing in Inter Miami, can you really give him a Ballon d'Or? I know
Danny Carvajal.
Well, that's the name that's been put up there.
That's what Raul was very
I'm
firm.
doing it
So
for
he
Raul, because he's not here. But
because obviously it was
Champions League, Euros.
I think that's the name that I saw floating around as well. People
is it, or is that like a Jorginho thing? When he won the Euros,
he came third in Ballon
he's
d'Or.
He's got to be definitely in the conversation.
Yeah, his age and what he's won. Yeah, because people were looking at Mbappe and Jude before, but now you can't. Can you say they deserve it? I don't know. Some would say he could. Jude's Real Madrid and what he's won, and then obviously a final of the Euros. But I don't know. Vinny. I know people will say Vinny.
I think Jude is up there with a shout of it because of all the heroics, obviously getting to the final, but he was a big part of why England even got to a final because of those magic moments and
really
the season
hard.
he's had. So I think Jude is definitely a shout, but Carvajal, I mean, how can you argue with that? You can't give it to Messi. He's literally playing in America.
No, you can't. It's Jude or Carvajal for me.
Yeah.
So
I know.
White Yardy said Rodri, and I mean, there's an argument there. It'll piss me off. I don't like Rodri.
There's a shout.
There's an argument.
Why don't you like Rodri?
Plays for people that are stopping us
away with a hella yellow cards.
Yeah, he's a cheat, and and he just stops us from.
Only person that's stopping you from winning the league is you.
Oh my God, you sound like a therapist.
Believe.
Look yourself in the mirror. That's your competition.
Just a word on Colombia, because I know you've mixed with a lot of their fans as well.
Yeah.
James Rodriguez, player of the tournament, 6 man of the match awards.
I don't know how he does. I don't know how these tournaments he just turns up.
He turns up. Obviously, Luis Diaz had a good tournament.
He did as well. To be fair, I know you're a little bias, but he did play very well.
Obviously, dropped a fire verse as well.
Oh, yeah.
Before the tournament started.
These are I promote players doing other things outside of football. I was gonna say they need to stop, but no, I promote it, big them up.
But I mean, it would have meant more, I think, for them to win 100%. It rather than Argentina having won Finalissima, World Cup.
Copa
but what
America
a run this is by this Argentinian side, hey?
Argentina or the Colombia side?
Well, Colombia hadn't lost for 28 games, so it was the end of the road from them. They would have been absolutely heartbroken to lose that.
Knocked out some big nations as well.
Big nations, right? Haven't lost for years, literally. But Argentina, what a run they were on.
Unbelievable. And to Paul, I had to Google, just remind me where he was playing at for his club, because Atletico Madrid, because I was like,
he's a proper Atleti player,
bro. In tournaments, he is always a standout. I think he's absolutely quality. He's just, and he's aging so well. His experience and the way his relationship. Listen, Messi's obviously the star of that nation, but he's, I think, a big part to why.
Guard, isn't he?
He's a big part to why Messi plays really well. I think the Paul's incredible, and he had a really good tournament. Messi again is not many words need to be said. It's Lionel Messi. He's still unbelievable. And like we mentioned before, Lautaro Martinez, who's the top goal scorer of the competition, didn't actually even start that game. By the way, he come off the bench and scored, and he's just been clutch. He's been clinical. So Argentina, I always think like Italy at the time when they won the Euros. I thought, it's quite an aging side. How they're going to cope, but Argentina seems to keep aging and going back to back when it comes to winning these tournaments. So big them up, man. And one more person, don't like him, Emi Martinez. Fuck. Jesus Christ, and he's in these tournaments. He's a different animal. Like, I don't know what it is that comes over him, but even in the highlights, obviously I didn't watch the full game. He was just everywhere, and like a cat, and he lives and breathes it. Like, so.
One thing about those Argentinian guys, they have a lot of passion when they're playing for their country, and it seems that comes through.
Did you like Christian Romero's performance? I didn't really see much of Copa America.
Truthfully, I didn't see too much in the extent highlights I watched and stuff I read about this morning. It just didn't get mentioned, but I suppose defence wise
Just over the tournament. I don't know. I literally didn't watch anything. I didn't watch anything because obviously I was away for that first.
I didn't really look to Romero, sorry.
Oh, you didn't really look. But defensively quite astute, no? Listen, I just wanted to bring it back home. Like, let's not have no head loss. Bring it back home.
Okay, fair.
But yeah, Spain, what a day for them yesterday with Wimbledon as well. But Spain and Argentina, the winners. Let's jump back into the Super Chat. Jag says, since 2001, teams from Spain have played 27 finals in national and club football and have 100% record winning. Unwritten rule, Spanish teams will win the final.
Oh yeah, I saw that stat. It was insane.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Crazy.
Wait, sorry. I just missed that last bit. What was?
It was like every final that Spain have been in since 2001, or a Spanish side.
Yeah,
they've won.
And a Spanish side.
Think of Seville.
Anything.
Think of Villarreal against United. Think of all the Madrid ones against
any
us.
Any final a Spanish team has been in since 2001, which is 27, they've won.
There's no way.
You know,
that's a true fact.
You know, at Soccer, remember Javier Tebas? He said, even if Madrid play bad, they'll win. If they play good, they'll win.
Yeah, he was so and it's the same for Spain, bro.
Like, jeez, they either flop and don't get anywhere near the final, or they'll just win it.
They'll win the final.
It's crazy. They know they don't lose.
That's insane.
Man, like Raul. Someone earlier in the chat said DR now stands for Don Raul Sports.
Yeah, someone needs to stop him.
I've tried, bro.
I think that was production.
I've tried so much in finals. Trust me.
Shut up.
Big Zed says, seeing Chiellini reminded me of his pull on Saka. That was the final for us to win. Spain were too good, found a hole in the second half and exploited it.
I don't love that Rio did the reenactment of that as well. Just want to throw that in there. Like, I didn't love that. Rio. Like him doing a photo of him being pulled. Like, chill out. You didn't do that. Big up Rio. I like Rio, but that was not necessary anyway.
Yeah. Rajesh CFC says there are some plus VEs. I'm not sure what that means. VEs. There's a core group of really talented players who could go all the way with a better manager. Shout out to Palmer. Does this cup in any way affect Cole versus Saka versus Phil?
No, but Cole Palmer, it doesn't in terms of a Premier League season conversation.
No.
But obviously on international level, like
Robbie would argue that Saka and the Phil Foden debate when it comes to international that's the obviously Champions League is the top stage, but so is the World Cup or Euros, and Saka has turned up and
Saka is definitely far more clutch for England. But
so
obviously
there's an argument to that. But
that's also Palmer's first tournament. So
yeah, you can't put Palmer in this conversation.
No.
Again, I don't think Cole Palmer was given enough minutes in this competition. And if you look at Spain, for example, that is a prime example of what we're talking about. Their attack was spearheaded by their two wingers, Lamine Yamal, 16, and Nico Williams. Honestly, would you have seen Gareth Southgate trusting a 16-year-old, no matter how talented he was, to be the spearhead of our attack?
I mean, yeah, but Cobby's got minutes. Like Cobby's been brilliant. You know, Cobby's 19. Again, go back 6 months. He got his first start. You know, and he was playing in pre-season and then he got injured. But
he played well in that game as well against us.
And he's only had half a season at the highest level, and Gareth did trust him to go in there and do a job. So I think it depends.
It does actually spark a conversation though, the Cole Palmer, Saka and Foden debate, and the fact that Foden for City, is it a system thing? Is he just good under Pep compared to when you see like Palmer? He left City in that Chelsea. Dying Chelsea side, by the way, and became the main man and was put up Chelsea on his back. And then in for England as well, another different style of play, different nation, different club. He does well there. Saka same. He played in multiple positions and is very versatile and has risen in that challenge. Plays well for Arsenal. So that is a very good conversation to have of how. What's Foden like with other teams? We would never know until he leaves City and whatnot, but we clearly see when he plays for his nation, he's not to a level that these other players like Saka and Palmer can do. They're versatile. And Cobb actually, because he's come into an England side and he stood out for me as well.
Larry says, love Saka, but Cucurella had his number in that game. Saka failed 2 of his dribble attempts and only won 3 out of 8 duels against Cucurella.
Well, fair.
Pocketed, I would say.
I wouldn't say pocketed. We went down that right side a lot. Fair play. I just saw Saka being confident, and every time he got on the ball, he was doing what he needed to do. I didn't see Cucurella really bruck him up the way I saw.
I didn't think Saka had one of his better games this year.
You didn't think he had a good game?
No, I've seen him do a lot better, man. Listen, I love Saka, and I'd love to be able to sit here and say he did get the better of Cucurella, but we got to be honest, man, he didn't.
But who had a good game in England? Who had a good game in England?
No, but we're dealing in that in isolation. I'm not going to sit here and say he had a worldie just because I'm an Arsenal fan.
No one ever said he had a worldie, but yeah.
He didn't. Fair. You said earlier on, every time he cooked him, he did not. Let's just keep it 100.
Keep it
That's all I'm saying.
92.
Doesn't mean that Saka's not an excellent player. Of course he is, but he just didn't play well yesterday.
Fair enough. Shaw was excellent first half. The team were very solid and resilient, but a short lapse and gave Yamal a bit too much space. Walker lapse 2 for their first, says Big Z.
Yeah, Shaw first half on Yamal was unbelievable.
Yeah.
A1 every. I remember the commentator. Obviously, you had the sound off, but commentators were saying it's 100%. Shaw's got. Just all
But
yeah.
even in the first half, like Walker had Williams every time, and that's what we couldn't understand yesterday. That like he was stuck to him, he really limited the chances, and then obviously second half, obviously like minutes gone, and they're just all over the place. Like
that lapse in concentration. Once they get the goal, they couldn't get it back. Goals change games, and that's true.
You know that Spain were struggling because they kept putting Nico and Yamal in the same.
Yeah.
Walker almost had no one to mark a little bit, and then obviously second half, don't know what happened.
But what disappointed me was remember when we got the equaliser, there was a moment, a time in that game where you're thinking, right, they're obviously affected by that. Let's go for it. And we, for some reason, we stood off.
Yeah, we sat back again.
And we didn't. Now, again, is that down to the manager?
Yeah,
probably is, isn't it?
I think look, the players do have to take responsibility for some of it, but again it's the tactics that are deployed. And you heard when Gareth did his post-match interview, you know, he thought about making changes earlier. He thought Jude looked leggy. I mean, you're the manager. This is a huge moment, a huge game. Make the change, make the call, do what needs to be done to keep this team in the game, to make sure that they either win the game in 90 or at least are progressing to extra time. Give your team the best thing, and if you can see them looking leggy, I know he's had minutes, but you've got to do what's best. You can't just keep them on because they're big names.
And if you remember 3 years previous to that, he did the reverse when we went 1-0 up against Italy, and you think, right, come on now, let's impose our will on them. He sat back, allowed Italy into the game, and then they come from behind and beat us. That's what I'm saying. 8 years he's been in the job. He's took us to a certain point, but I don't have any confidence that he can get us to that next level.
Say says VAR on Golden Boot, misunderstood player, own goal was Golden Boot winner as well, probably. Josh Hughes says Harry Kane done all last night to help us. So overrated. Stop rewarding failure, you lot. It's embarrassing. Spain were miles ahead of us last night. No one's saying they weren't, my friend. No one is saying, Josh, that we are not, aware that Spain were miles ahead, but to just say on Harry Kane when 4 or 5 were passengers last night is a bit unfair. Maka says Kane lack of effort, it was awful.
I don't think you can question his effort.
The run across the box, Kane's injury was nothing to do with him being positionally shocking. Playing as a CDM at times, he was poor enough said. Southgate did say after the game last night that they couldn't really get Harry up to speed.
That's such a poor thing for him to say.
Yeah, it was obvious.
We could see it. I just don't know.
It was obvious.
And it's annoying because a lot of my blame was to target Harry Kane, but you're right. I suppose it's Southgate.
Blame the manager.
If you know all this, why are you?
I don't know how you can blame the player for that. You have to look at the manager.
Yeah.
The manager picks the team. If Harry Kane's carrying an injury, it's not on Harry Kane. It's on the manager. It's on the manager.
Well, look at this. You're so right, because he literally came out and said, physically, it's been a tough period for Kane. He came in short of games and didn't quite get up to the level we'd all hope. So why start him every game?
What's the conversation? There must be conversation.
Especially when
he's a captain.
Especially when you've got viable options.
And then the next line, we felt Ollie's freshness would allow us to press a bit better and offer us a threat in behind.
And 100%.
Do that at the start,
and
then.
I'm absolutely not. I'm saying to you that should have happened.
Then.
I'm saying he should have taken him out for those group games if he wasn't up to speed. But to put it all on Kane and say he's awful, he's that. Harry Kane is probably one of the best strikers we've ever seen in the world, let alone this country. One sec. And on top of that, to put it all on him. He's carried England multiple times. You know, there are other players in this tournament that didn't turn up, and at the end of the day, it's on the manager who picks the team. Kane has had a terrible tournament, and we can all see that he doesn't look like himself. I don't really understand the lack of game time because he'd just come off the back of having a really busy season but I'm not sure on that. But he clearly wasn't at the fitness level he needed to be for this squad. And Gareth Southgate should have made the decision earlier on in the tournament to say, let's rest Harry, let's bring him on, let's see if he can do something off the bench, which isn't really his style, but let's utilise the players that we've got here, because the bench was so full of talent, whether you're playing Anthony Gordon, who hardly got a look in, Jared Bowen, Cole Palmer, who didn't get a look in until the 3rd game, Ollie Watkins, Ivan Toney. There was a plethora of unbelievable talent there that wasn't utilised, and that comes down to the manager. It's not on Harry Kane.
I agree. For him to actually come out and admit all that makes him look a bit silly.
If I could just say as well, who scored the winner for Spain yesterday? Arasabal. And he came on for Morata, who was having a stinker. That's what you do as a manager.
But he did that 57 minutes. I'll give him respect because he actually looked to what was going on or lack of what was going on and thought, no, Ollie's got to come on.
I'm glad.
He even brought on Ivan Toney towards the end, but by that point it's a little bit too late.
But I'm glad you said that because I was thinking when we was talking about his substitution, I was thinking I don't think he made substitutions too late. I know we just conceded, but I just thought, it's just after half time, and at half time I think the people I was with were saying, well, we're still in it. It's not, we haven't conceded. It's 0-0. So I think it could have been done. I don't know what time you would have done it, made that substitution. But you're right, though. I don't think Harry Kane should have started.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We've been saying this. A lot of us have been. I don't know if all of you. I've been saying this on a lot of the previews that we shouldn't be starting Harry Kane anyway.
Just a bit of breaking news coming in again. Fabrizio ruining the transfer market for everyone by just getting the stories out too early. There's an agreement between Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and Al Qadsiya in Saudi. So he's now moved there. He's left Marseille. Because salary agreed, waiting for the final approval from Marseille to get the move done.
You know what I'm looking at? You love Aubameyang. I like him.
Listen, man, I'm one of those fans. I am never going to disrespect Aubameyang. He did a lot for the club. Yes, he left in dubious circumstances, but he's still one of our top strikers of recent times. And he deserves respect. Our last trophy that we won was way down to him. And a lot of people are easy to forget that. Not me.
Richie Zauer says Messi the greatest and big up Enzo Fernandez. Ricky says no, Laurie, both can't be true. You watch a lot of English football compared to Spanish football, so you'll always be cognitively.
Careful what you say. Yeah, it is cognitively.
What is his point exactly?
Cognitively.
Yeah.
What's he saying?
Bias about England.
Basically,
you watch so much England that you don't really.
No, listen, I gave Spain mad respect, right? But what I'm saying is, and I think you guys agree to me, that if you look at the two squads, England's squad on paper anyway, I know football's not paid up it, England's squad is infinitely stronger. Before the tournament, I didn't hear anybody saying that Spain was going to win.
They've got Ayoze Perez sitting on their bench, come on.
I know.
Playing for Real Betis at 36 or something.
We were jumped favourites.
I know.
In France. There's not,
but on paper, it's not even an argument paper of who had the strongest squad and who had the stronger bench.
And that's all I'm saying. I'm not dissing Spain. I'm saying if you look at the two squads, our squad is infinitely strong. I mean, Jesus now 39 years old, bro.
Yeah. And he played against Southgate in 06 for Sevilla in the
See?
final.
There you go. Crazy. They had Morata up front. Would Morata get anywhere near England's squad right now? Be honest. He would not have made the play.
I think Tony and...
Yeah, Watkins and Kane.
Tony and Watkins well ahead of Morata.
Yeah.
He wants to stay at Atletico as well. I know there was an offer from the Saudi league to go out there.
Even we mentioned him earlier, Cucurella. A lot of people don't really rate it. Gary Neville was vocal in saying, he actually name-checked.
Which is mental.
That's wild.
Did they not?
Wild.
Oh my
yeah.
Unbelievable all season. And they didn't even take him.
Yeah, Marino played.
Gary Neville name-checked Cucurella as a reason why Spain wouldn't win the tournament. Did you see that?
Yeah.
And Cucurella come back at him and said, thanks
for the support.
So
that's what his space is.
So I want to reiterate, I'm not dissing Spain. I'm just saying if you look at the squads, our squad is stronger, in my opinion.
All right, listen. But why did Spain win
because they got a better manager and they played better football.
But be honest, had you heard of this manager before the tournament started?
I'd heard of him, but I didn't know too much about him.
I do know.
The reason why I knew about him was because I'd read that there was in turmoil after what happened in the World Cup. A lot of the Spanish fans and people were very upset.
Was it Lopetegui at the last World Cup? No, it was Enrique, wasn't it?
Yes, it was Enrique, Because remember, they went out to Morocco and they had a pretty poor tournament.
True.
People saying that things need... And this is what I was talking about when I said things need to evolve. We need to thank Southgate for what he's done and say thanks but no thanks. Now we're moving on to try and that begets the next question. That's probably a whole nother show. Who should get the job now?
Well,
I'm going for your boy.
I was going to ask. Who's my boy? Jurgen.
I'd like to see Jurgen. Let's tempt him out of retirement, man.
Tempt him out of retirement. I don't think he accepts any job apart from Germany.
Yeah, that's the problem.
But you take that job in 2025
that's a good point.
To kind of get them prepared for the
Eddie Howe?
I mean, would he leave the Newcastle project? I know Amanda Staveley's leaving. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
They're selling their shares.
I think Eddie Howe might take that job,
Eddie Howe, Graham Potter, these are all names.
Not Graham Potter, please. Not Graham Potter.
Not Potter, I agree.
Please. You need to put Poch in the conversation.
Poch?
I'd have Poch in the conversation.
Would you?
Yeah.
I personally don't think he should. I don't think he's done at club level yet. But
I'm not so
I
sure
think it's
about
a conversation. He'll definitely be a candidate.
He's definitely
How
a
bad
better
was his record at PSG before we say he's not done it? Do you know what I mean?
No, I'm saying I think he's not done yet. I think he's.
I thought you said he's not done it at that level.
No, I'm saying he's. I don't feel he's done at club level. For me, when you go to international, it's because you're
done.
You're done. For just my opinion, I think you're done at club level. Like, or you need to have a big break from it. But I don't think he's done at club level yet.
International career, he played 20 times for Argentina as well, but. Yeah, he's up there. He's up there. Should we do a poll?
Personally
Should we ask people in the chat?
I would also prefer an English manager.
But
you would take Klopp
there,
though, right?
I don't know.
I think
with a style of, you want an English manager with a style of play that like Spain, really, because that's what's going to benefit this.
I don't know, but I always think that your country manager should be of your country. That's just my opinion.
Are you saying Rooney, Lampard, Gerrard?
God, no. But I'm not like adverse to having Eddie Howe. Just my preference would always be having an English manager. I think it connects you more. Like, I think that was the reason. Obviously, we had Capello, we had Sven, we had European managers. I just think that when it's your international team, I think it should be.
I do think for the most part that is the case. I mean, if you're a country like, say, for Jamaica now, right? And they just get a foreign.
It's just prefer. It's just my opinion.
Jamaica had a guy called Hal Grimson. He was manager of Iceland.
He's gone to Ireland now, hasn't he?
And he's gone to Ireland now.
Ireland as manager. Yeah.
So, but countries like that, that they don't have a great footballing background as England do. You can understand why they will go elsewhere. But England, I do get what Abby's saying. But if you ask me, out of the managers out there that don't have a job at the moment, Klopp is like that glaring. You think, man, he's the guy we should get.
Yeah, Mourinho's got a job now as well.
So like, for example,
Mourinho England would be.
With the women's, sorry to interrupt you, like Serena Wiegman has been unbelievable, but like I feel like and obviously she's not English, but then the next one would be for me Emma Hayes to come and be.
No, she's taken
international manager of Lionesses.
It makes sense.
Do you see what I mean? Like the natural progression.
I don't like him. I just don't like him.
Next summer we're in Switzerland for the Euros, and then World Cup will be 20.
After that,
I can't even work out my years. 27. Yeah. Well, she's obviously just got to America, so who knows? But I feel like after Serena. Why not?
Play. Why not? I can see it. So
is Emma still managing it at club level?
She's gone to USA.
Oh, okay. I was say because I see her a lot of punches.
So everyone around the table, New England manager, name, go.
English manager or any manager.
What you like, and then what you think England would.
What I would like is Klopp, because I think his high octane management would suit the players that we've got, and I think his personality and everything. I think he'd be everyone's favourite choice.
Well, Pep. But I ain't leaving money if he leaves City.
I actually think Klopp might be more popular, because of the style of football that he plays. But anyway, if you're going for an English manager, I think the obvious one that stands out to me anyway at the moment, it would be Eddie Howe.
Get way back.
Who would be the Newcastle manager then? If he went there.
Maybe Poch, who knows?
Maybe. That's a good shout.
But do you think Klopp would take it though?
No,
I don't think he would either.
I don't think he would ever take it.
UK media and like all of that, and just after he wants to have a break.
But we know he's going to manage again, and he said he doesn't want to come back to England to manage an English club, so that might be a viable option.
I think he'll take Germany.
He's made for Germany at some point. He'll take that job for sure.
Let him rest, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know. I kind of think, maybe Klopp would be a good option. Don't know, but I think it probably would. I can see it being Eddie Howe, which is fine. Just something that makes me laugh about how fickle football fans are, right? And how much shit a lot of people chat. I see so many people calling for Jose Mourinho. If you don't like the way that Gareth Southgate plays football, you are not going to like how Jose Mourinho plays football.
Well,
if you want him to win, if you want him for a trophy, I'm not saying he wouldn't win you a trophy over Gareth Southgate, but in terms of the style of play, I mean. Just what are you talking about?
I don't think the FA would go anywhere near.
They wouldn't. But for Portugal, I can absolutely see him going and doing it at Portugal one day. But I'm just saying, as England fans who want to see Jose as your coach, crazy. Yeah, he might win you something. But in terms of you're talking about the style of play and moaning about this and that, you are going to hate it. And I can say that as someone that has managed my club, and I hated every second of it. God.
Fair enough. Yeah. All those.
Who would you like to see,
guys in the chat? Hold that.
Yeah. I think it will be Graham Potter. In there.
I think it will be Graham Potter.
Really?
I do think it will be Graham Potter.
Why?
To be honest.
He's got them Southgate vibes, though, isn't he? We're trying to get away from that.
He's actually he's tactically very astute.
By the way, get the likes up. There's over 4.5k watching, almost 5k. There's not even 1,000 likes.
Like the video now.
I think Eddie Howe could be tempted, though. Because the Newcastle experiment hasn't gone totally his way, has it?
I think if the England job coming, Eddie Howe takes that.
I think
all
he
day
could
long.
be tempted.
All day long.
I actually think there's a lot of potential in Eddie Howe, man. I think he's a good manager. Did well at Bournemouth. Started off well at Newcastle. Last season was a bit up and down, but I think he's. I think he'd do well.
Do you want to do the player ratings as well throughout the tournament for England players?
Sure. Yeah, let's run it.
Round it off. Pickford in goal.
Yeah, I think he had a good tournament.
Does he make it to the World Cup in 2 years for you as our starting goalkeeper? Just quickly, starting goalkeeper.
Could he have done better for the goals last night? Is that?
No, it's not. I'm not even trying to because I think he played. No, it's not a loaded question. I think he actually did all right. But I'm just saying, is he still the number one goalkeeper for us when it comes to the World Cup in 2026?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I just wanted to check. Currently. Okay, rating. It wasn't terrible. There's nothing that sticks out to me that says.
I think he was.
I think he was fine.
I think he had a good tournament.
I think 8 is quite as high. I mean, yeah, I don't see why else. We didn't concede loads of goals. Yeah,
I'd say 7.
Yeah, I'd say 7.
8's a bit stronger.
Okay, 7. And I'm not going to argue with 8 or 7.
Kyle Walker.
6. I think 6.
3.
Wow.
What?
Wow.
Bring him down one.
3.
Yeah.
I'd have gone 5 or 6 average.
I'd have gone 6.
I mean,
it's interesting.
Average is 5 people. Let's just remember that.
Yeah.
In fact, maybe 4.
No.
3 or 4.
If average is 5,
actually,
I think he had a below average.
He was below average. He wasn't.
Yeah,
I think he was average.
Yeah, I'd say average. Yeah, it's 5.
He's below average. Okay, 3 or 4. But let me know.
I'd say 5. Because there were games where
so he was okay.
His pace did make a difference.
When?
No, there were games.
There were games. Things like that. He had a terrible tournament. Terrible.
It was below average. If we're doing 5 as an average, it was below.
He was below.
4 then.
4 for a lot of the 4. For a lot of goals.
John Stones.
I thought he did well.
Yeah.
He looked good. I'll give
he
him
always does well.
If I could give him a 0.5, I would, but I'll give him a 7.
No, we're doing 0.5s on here.
7.
I know Robbie doesn't like the old decimal places.
7.5.
I think that's quite high.
I'd say
6.5 for me.
I'd go 7.
The first time I actually saw him, it was yesterday in the game, get on the ball and dribble through the whole tournament. The first time I actually see him do what he does for City, I was like, finally. And then,
but defensively, he was very good, right?
Defensively, yeah, 6.5 for me.
I think he was good. I'd go 7.
Well, okay, we're going to go Mark Gay next. If you're giving him 7.5,
no, Gay, I'll go 8
all day long. Player
Gay was
7.5.
Thought we're not doing.
Actually, no, I'll go 8. I'll go 8.
8.
I'll go 8. He nearly scored as well.
You've got to give the defence credit. They were the best part of this English team.
Yeah,
and projected to be the worst.
He nearly scored as well yesterday, don't forget.
8 for me.
Almost unreal.
He's one of the finds of the tournament.
We've done that 8.
Left back. So you did Shaw, Trippier.
Are we doing 11 and then we'll do the bench?
It's kind of got to be more Trippier. Shaw played.
I'd say 5. Average.
I feel bad for Trippier though. Again,
so do I.
Kind of being forced to play, obviously in a system in a way that's not balanced to him. But what can he really do?
I don't think he was
5, 6.
I'd say 5.
I'd say 5, but I do agree with you. The manager didn't do him any favours.
No.
As lead judges will say, it's just okay.
Yeah, I'd say 5.
It was just okay.
I do think he's going to head over to Miami.
Okay.
I heard a little rumour in the summer.
So.
Potentially.
Into the midfield?
No, definitely not.
No, I'm saying that we're going into the midfield now. Next load of players to rate.
Yeah.
Definitely not playing in the midfield.
Yeah, I was going to say.
No way. But who do we want to start with?
I think we'll start with Rice.
What do we say?
I would go with the 6. Above average, but not how I usually think Rice would play.
6.5 if we're doing half, but if not, then...
I think a 6 is fair.
6. I'll go 6.
Yeah, I'll go 6. He didn't have a great tournament, but then, the style of play didn't complement him the way... I mean, as Cecil was saying, we're used to seeing him in a different light, doing different things. I don't think we got the most out of him. And again, I've got to call out the manager on that.
Okay, I think 6 is fair.
6 is fair in the end. Jude?
Well, Jude's a difficult one because Jude had obviously magic moments.
Do you see the discourse online of him saying like he's so overrated? Like a lot of people now turning against him.
The word overrated does my head in.
I know the overrated is mental.
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, world class overrated is annoying.
It's amazing, isn't it? Like you go from like shooing for Ballon d'Or before the tournament, and because we don't win it now, everyone's mad overrated. Come on,
it's crazy.
He's a brilliant player.
He's definitely a 0.5 because I would go between 6 and a 7
for
him.
I'd agree with you.
Obviously, the moments take it up because overall the performances wasn't what
So
we would want
you're going
you
between
to be.
6 and 7, yeah?
I would probably lean more towards the 6 than the 7.
So him and Rice, same.
But different areas. Like obviously he's had big moments, like the overhead kick, like even to try that, like the audacity, wild, the header, like he's had moments, but again, so then you go with a 6 or a different type of 6.
Yeah.
It's a different type of 6, but
I'll go 6.5.
I'll go 6.5, and I would say as well, he tends to get judged at a different standard. Maybe he's a victim of his own success.
That's why 6.5. And also
people are looking at him
moment.
to be the clutch player.
Sums it up for me.
6.5.
Okay.
Maha. Sorry, we'll get back onto that. Who else was in midfield who started off? Foden started most.
Mainoo.
Oh, he's got up
for me.
Yeah, 7. Steady 7.
7.
7 at an international tournament. It's your first one.
Unreal.
Yeah.
At 19.
Incredible. He
7's
looks
a great
so
achievement.
bov as well. Like he just looks so composed.
Sick.
You're playing in a
7
Euro.
all over.
You're playing in the Euros for your nation. You're that age, and quality.
Yeah,
Absolute
7.
quality.
Unreal.
Yeah, Phil Foden. For me, it's a 4 or a 3.
I would
Well
go.
below average.
Him and Walker the same.
5's the average. We've got to be honest.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think
Walker the same for me. 3 or 4.
I think 3 is such a harsh number. So
Why is he being so nice? Babes, like this is how it. This is.
It's just a harsh number. No, I think his performances do warrant a 3.5. Like it's
3's a magic number.
He did nothing of note, and I've got
He had a
such
good game against Holland.
high expectations. He had a good 45. Are we basing this on half games? Like it's got to be over a course of a tournament.
No, I hear you.
3.5.
I think I'll go with 4 because it's just
I'll give
nasty
him
to
Come
go
and meet me
3.
halfway. 3.5.
I'll give you a 3.5 then. Go on.
Yeah, 3.5.
Sound like time.
What I would say about, and I touched on it earlier, I think Foden's kind of got to get his act together at international level because the second tournament now where he's flattered to deceive. Third even.
Yeah. Got to
So you
step
remember
up.
the old that fell
Gaza
on
trade, yeah.
the old blonde tribute to Gaza thing, and now here
Barely
we
got
are
a minute.
again.
Idiot thing, that.
So what? 3.5? Yeah.
I'll go 4. I
4?
don't want to kick him when he's down.
Fair
4.
enough. Harry Kane. I'll go 5.
Wait, I just want to hear Abby.
Average.
Yeah.
Average.
Or if we're being truthful, then maybe it's less.
I think
than
it's
that,
probably.
Yeah,
I think
be
it's
real.
probably also a 4.
I'll go
respect that.
4, but I would.
Yeah, fair play.
I would give him the caveat that the management didn't do him any favours because he was clearly not fit. And who's going to say, I don't want to play? Then he would have been criticised for saying he didn't want it. So
Yeah, that's true.
I think you can't win either way, but I think the overall performances of especially those 2 star players in Foden and Kane, who you definitely would have been looking at, and Bellingham. I think maybe been a bit nicer with Bellingham because of the moments.
Yeah.
But overall, those 3, the 3 we would have been looking at, Saka included, obviously we haven't scored Saka yet, super disappointing.
I'm gonna go 3.5.
And we can't also forget, that
Meet me at
Harry
4.
Kane did get 3 crucial goals in this one.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
And that
Joint
penalty
goals
as well.
He's getting a 4.
But again,
No,
it's
I've given him a
it's-
5,
it's
innit?
the eye test.
You give him a 5.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Average.
Well, let's
Like I
have-
said,
we'll
we're
average it out
asking
then.
a man to play when he's
4.
not fit, Cecil. That is not his fault.
Should we rattle through the bench then?
Oh, wait,
Trent?
Saka?
And I put
Saka. If Gay's an 8, I'll go 7.5 for Saka.
I'm going 8.
I don't think you give him an 8 this tournament. Come on.
If Gay, I think Gay and
meet
Saka
us.
for me.
Meet us.
But I think Gay and Saka for me were the players of the tournament
Yeah,
for
that's
England.
fine.
So I've got to put
7.5.
I don't think an
Fine.
8. He wasn't an 8.
I don't give him
Come
an
on.
8. I'll
Take-
give him a
take
7.
the glasses off.
7.5 or 7.
I think
I'll
a
give you
7 is fair.
I think a 7 is fair for
7.
7.
7.
He was the best out of a very bad bunch.
And you're giving him a 7.
I think a 7.
If he's the best in the England team out of a bad bunch, you gave Gay an 8.
Gay is an 8.
No, but Gay
So you
was
got-
clearly England's best player, though, really. Wasn't he?
Gay,
I wouldn't say clearly. I said Saka. I think Saka's
Gay,
with him.
Saka, Stones, best players for England this
Yeah, I
tournament.
agree.
What do we give
8,
Stones?
7,
What do
7.
we give Stones?
7. 8, 7, 7. It's fair.
So we can't go 7.5 for Saka.
You can't. I think 7 is fair, but if you want to give it in your own
Does anyone agree with
individual
7.5 then?
I'll go 7.5.
Of course it's 7.5.
Fair enough.
Okay, yeah, I've got
Gay,
no real
yeah,
issue with
so
that.
that makes
Gay
sense.
and Saka the best.
Cool.
Luke Shaw.
He was good when he was there.
Yeah.
How is he still 29?
Been 29 for years.
Did all right in the first half yesterday, but
7,
hasn't been fit.
6.
5.5.
6.5.
6.
Esri Konza
Did really well that one game.
For this, yeah, he did.
was good.
6.
Give him a 6 all round. Trent obviously got his midfield
How much
berth
do
at
you
the
give
start.
Trent? Don't
Can't
say
really
8
give
or
it more
9.
than like a 5. Really,
You can't, but
Has
it's
to
can't
be
give it.
5.
But he
But is
did
that on
have
the
that
manager?
moment, man. He put England into the next round. He had that
It's a
penalty.
5.
It was a good
I'm saying it's a 5. Just let him have his
You had to
moment,
put that one in there.
Lewis Dunk and Joe
NA.
Gomez did not feature. Deckers, I'm going.
We've done
Oh no,
Declan,
we've done
right?
that.
Are
Sorry,
you
I'm
alright?
no, I'm just doing the rest of the names that we missed out.
Conor
Gallagher.
Gallagher.
There we go. 5 games played.
He was going to come on, wasn't he? I don't know if you saw. He was getting ready to be warm to come on.
He
I
started one
I
game.
said, what's going on here? Then obviously his corner made it. He changed it and put on Tony. But
Conor
jeez.
got 5.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Maybe
going to say about Conor Gallagher? I'm going to be honest and say his stock kind of went down through this tournament.
Really?
Man. Yeah.
Is he over?
He's a better player than what we saw.
Is he overhyped? Was it me? I don't know. I know
I
we don't
think
know.
so.
Or is he actually? Is he a good player?
think I think he's a good player.
I think he's a good
I think
player.
it's really hard to base what we've seen this tournament
Yeah.
off of what we see week in, week out in the Premier
No,
League.
I'm saying even in the Premier League. Do you still,
No, I think
okay.
he's been. I think he's a good
I
player.
think that
He's not
this
going to
one
set
of
the world on
Chelsea's best
fire,
players
but
last season.
yeah,
one of.
I rate him as a player,
He's a
but
good player. Like he's not going to be
You
Jude,
still in
but
for him?
I'd still take him.
Would you?
Yeah.
I don't know who we're in for. I'm not hearing anything
Yeah.
to be. I've not heard
he's a
anything.
good player, but I think
not heard
based
any
on what we
rumours.
saw, his stock went down. Because let's face it, the role that he was asked to play, which was just come on, run around, make a few tackles, he didn't
Head
show him
was
in a great
chicken.
light.
Wharton
hard.
obviously didn't play. Kobe Mainu, I'll have to go.
We've done that.
Oh yeah, we've done that.
What
Again.
do we give him? 7.5.
So it's just so many names.
7.
Ivan Toney
Just
did
that
really well
no-look
when he came on,
penalty is-
didn't he? And the no-look pen.
Is just
6.
6.
Six. I felt a bit sorry for him, man, because you could see he was desperate to get minutes.
Yeah. Anthony
And I actually
Gordon.
quite like the fact that he took on the manager and said, look, Southgate even said himself, look, Ivan was upset at me. I quite like that.
We was
Yeah,
bringing him
fair
on for
play.
30 seconds. Essentially.
Anthony
I would
Gordon,
have been
maybe the most disrespected out of all of them
Yeah.
in terms of stretching the game, making that change. Can't give him any more than a 3, I guess.
Didn't really see
Jared
anything.
Bowen played 20 minutes, put a really good cross in for Harry Kane in
That
the
was
first
it.
game.
I thought Eze did well when he
3,
come on
4.
against
Yeah,
Denmark.
5. I think
Yeah,
it's fair.
5.
Is that?
Watkins again, great moment. 6.
Oh yeah, you got to be
6.5.
6.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Gareth Southgate.
Yeah. 5. Actually, no.
Was
He
it-
got
you
to the
say he's
final.
okay?
He got to the final. So you got to give him a 6.
All right.
No, he got to the final.
We got to. But,
I'll go 5.
But do you know what? Is that fair to say? Because before the tournament, people would say, like I said, we were deemed to be favourites. So him getting to the final was something that we expected.
That was my minimum requirement, which is why.
So then, but you're giving him a 6. So that means he's saying he did
I think-
over.
Because it's
he did
an
better than what you
achievement to get.
expected.
No, but the reason why I'm saying that is because it is an achievement at the end of
Yeah.
the day to get to a final
It
of a
is.
major competition.
But we would
So I'll
expect he
give him
should
a
have been
6.
there. He should after being in the final last
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
And with the
but
players.
I would have gone a 5, but the fact, like I said, you got to the final of a major competition.
It was ugly.
Yes, it
I'll
was.
go
I'm going
5.
5.
I think 5.
5.5. 5.
5.
I think I missed
Flat
out
5.
Cole Palmer as well. So
Oh, Cole
what a goal
Palmer,
last
7.
night. Yeah, I'd
7.
agree.
I'll go 7.5.
So
Stock's gone
impact-
up even further.
So impactful every time
yeah.
he come on.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Couple super chats, and then we'll call it a day. Argentina
deserve
didn't
it.
concede a goal with Licha starting, world-class centre-back, and if he stays fit for United, they're so much better. Stunning tournament, says Maha. Clara, looking at Abby, she visibly looks very upset, and I wish she should switch off from football for a bit more before the new season. However, she has to be there to witness Spurs lifting the Audi Cup. You've got a holiday booked in now, don't you? Or?
I do. It's not till August though.
Oh,
Have
no.
you
Not
just
going
come?
to August.
Oh,
No,
you're in
I
Germany
was
as well.
working. I haven't been on holiday for time.
That's the same.
But watch me. I won't be here in September. Bye.
Bye.
International break.
Bye.
Two-part question for Abby.
Bye.
First, would you take Big Ange as a future England manager? Yes or no?
Don't think all of you lot would like the high line and
Not
how
way.
much
Well,
we
it's a bit
concede.
entertaining,
But
though,
okay.
Stones
And
and running
second,
back.
Yeah, no
do you
thanks.
think England fans would do the Poznan if they ever lost to Poland? I don't know.
If Poland were their rivals that were going to win the league, maybe.
I
Yeah.
don't know what that means.
Tina says Carvajal, I think that means for Ballon d'Or, has won a lot and never been top 10 in the Ballon d'Or. And he did score in a Champions League final as well.
Huge, big
It'd be
moment,
nice to see someone other than Messi or Ronaldo get the Ballon d'Or. How about that?
I'm going to say to you guys what Ty once said to Abby: your great-grandchildren won't see England win anything, says Soul Cow. Shout out to you. Chelsea beat Villarreal in the 2021 Super Cup final. We had that stat from earlier about Spanish teams never losing finals since 2001. So maybe that's an anomaly.
To me, by the way.
De La Fuente had more confidence than Southgate, says JJ. 100% true, can't deny that. JC Florida, it's nice to see Cecil wear a winner jersey and not one of them bottler jerseys of England and Arsenal.
Energy.
Vibes. Lucas Moura scored a hattie versus Ajax and Poch benched him for Kane in the final. It's a good shout. Southgate should have started Watkins and Eze Palmer instead of Kane Foden, says Big Z. Let's be honest, England was never winning. All hype, says Philip. And Jag says, I'd like to have a panel's opinion on Rice. I'm a Gooner and I love Rice. He was 6 at West Ham in England, but he played for us as an 8 and looked comfortable. What do you think, players changing their natural positions? £20 as well.
Arsenal do it well, man. Saka, Arsenal player, can change positions, do it well, comfortable. Havertz as well. Yeah, well, he wasn't great in the midfield, but yeah. But
sometimes you make systems work for the player. You can move them around. Yeah,
I like to see players that can adapt and adjust to different positions. I think.
D. Sinclair says Kane didn't play the last 6 weeks for Bayern of the season.
That's an Abby question.
He did have a slight injury, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. I don't know if it was a full 6 weeks he didn't play.
Yeah, I don't know if it was 6 weeks.
But he did have a knock. But
maybe
again,
6 games.
Yeah, maybe. I think match fitness. He wasn't
to get that many goals. Long be top goal scorer. Missed that many.
It weren't 6 weeks.
Okay, I'll say. I
didn't think
maybe 6 games.
Yeah.
6 weeks.
Abby, Kane can't run. Finished except reality, says Sadiq.
Never was about running with Harry Kane. Clearly didn't watch him.
But you know what's funny about the Harry Kane thing? It's like I said,
it seems like it's rattling you.
Going into this tournament,
deal with the disrespect on Harry Kane, it's mental.
Everyone virtually was saying, listen, this guy's either the best or one of the best strikers in Europe.
And he still is.
Yeah, I know. Listen, I'm agreeing with you. 3 weeks later, a man's saying he's finished, he's done. He's not done.
You guys realise a successful World Cup was held in the USA in '94. Can they handle a big tournament? There's 5 fan tragedies that happen a year in Europe, says El Brigante.
Rattled you then, didn't it?
Yeah, mad. Stop making excuses for Kane. At the end of the day, we see Kane on the pitch, not Southgate, and we'll be critical of what we are seeing, says ZI2own.
So we criticise Foden as well then, shall we? And everyone else.
You have to. I'm with you on that, by the way. I'm not saying that we should just drill down on Kane.
That's my point.
Everyone's got to get it, man. I apologise for my pronunciation of that word earlier. Mamo. Cognitively. Well, I've got it now. Big up Mamo. Saying, was that AG Ty trying to read? Jesus Christ says, as soon as the season ended, England should have paid whatever it took to sack Southgate and get Klopp. It's easy to say that now, though, isn't it? When they don't win.
He's got to agree to it as well.
It's never going to happen, people. Come on, buddy.
He would take the job.
He's just Euros and World Cup next time would be England's. Mad respect to clubs like Bilbao and Sociedad for producing players like Williams, Zubamendi, Oyarzabal, etc. A lot of people who only ever watch the EPL have a myopic view of other leagues, says Nikhil. Good work.
That is true, but that's natural, though, isn't it? I mean, it's recency bias. You go by what you see week in,
clubs
week out.
Are fantastic. Yeah. You know, Bilbao, and they kind of keep hold of their players. They don't necessarily sell them to Barca and Real. Ban anyone that ever played for Spurs, you'll win, says Jesus Christ. Personally, don't think England have a great squad, says Philip. Vinit says, everyone jumping on Gareth. No one saying how Bellingham and Rice have been exposed. Bellingham ghosted in the Champions League quarters onwards. Without PR, Bellingham won't come any near the top team. Same with Rice. So
Bellingham would get into any other national team that we've seen. Am I right or wrong?
No, you're 100% correct.
He would walk into pretty much every squad in this tournament. Come on.
Sheldon says, who should the men's national team in America get as their next manager? Also, Cecil and Abby, how's your experience on Ranked? Because I just watched your episode.
Fun.
I'm posting about that today, actually.
I haven't watched it back yet.
I watched it. I'm going to watch the whole series, but no, thank you. It was good. It was a good flex. Thank you for watching. It got
yeah.
I need to watch it as well.
It was very fun, though.
No, man, good money. I got some money as well. Love.
It's a good day.
Good day.
US men's national team manager.
Jeez.
But Shelter just got sacked, hasn't it? They should get
Jesse
Jesse Marsh.
Because
Jesse Marsh did well with Canada.
Yeah. But they are putting a lot of stock in the US men's national team. I've been around them, and they got good talent in there. They are a good side. They just need to, like you said, I think you're right, because now they've sacked the manager. Got to find a good manager to get them ticking, because there is some good players in there.
Maybe Gareth might go there.
Weyer. There is a good
Southgate. Oh, is that a Good shout.
Hey, listen, man. That's a job that might appeal to him.
That could happen.
Because I don't think you'll get a Premier League job anytime soon.
Yeah.
Really.
Just a few more left. Crovian says, Abby is right. You win some with your own. It's the entire history of the World Cup. No foreign manager has won it. Only 2 have reached the final. Jesus Christ again says, City players awful away from Daddy Pep's snooze fest. And Mark T says, isn't Muir is Kane cursed? We know all this, mate. Come on. Went to Bayern to win a trophy, failed. Now in the file, failed. Go win a trophy. Kane is jinxed regardless if he's done or not, says AMT. Right.
Maybe.
Guys, that's kind of the season over now.
Season's over.
Season's done.
It, yeah.
We got a month to go.
But you know what?
What do you mean? Wait,
you say that,
but
they've started pre-season training today, including Arsenal.
United are playing today against Rosenborg.
Yeah.
Is it? Arsenal started. They were in. I think it's Mallorca or Malaga. They were doing. They were in Spain training.
Yeah, we started
already. Yeah, they've started.
Like 10 days.
Nice.
From last week.
Back, I think last week.
Yeah, see, it's relentless. We know this. It's what we cover.
We've had 5 weeks. 5 weeks off. You know.
Yeah.
Feels like it's been a lot longer than 5 weeks.
To it now, the Premier League.
Yeah, because they this always happens. They lure me into like a full sense of I miss you and we're going to do this.
I can't do it until after pre-season. Then I start getting I'm ready.
I must admit, I'm already a little bit nervous for next season because it's massive for Arsenal. Massive because
I'm excited.
Having gone
for now
second place twice now, we really do need to get that across the line.
I do wonder how long the club players get. If they're going on pre-season, I wonder if Saka.
They get a minimum of 3 weeks off. A minimum of 3.
So they won't.
That's what I heard this morning.
A minimum, so they won't go. Saka won't really be going or rise to
pre-season.
No, they need a long rest.
They haven't had a holiday. They went straight from obviously finishing the season pretty much
into camp. Yeah, I know.
Not just physically, but mentally as well.
Yeah,
they just need to just chill out, man.
Yeah.
There was an article that just dropped from Matt Law at the Daily Telegraph. England will not be short of interested candidates to succeed Gareth Southgate. Eddie Howe and Graham Potter high among them, and also Tuchel as well. In the article,
do you think Tuchel, though, given his previous history, he's not?
I think he's.
I don't think he's that.
The FA don't like certain sort of.
He'd have to learn to work with the FA for sure, wouldn't he?
Tuchel's got a history of being a bit of an agitator.
Yeah, super chat even mentions it.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to. Yeah, Dev. Tuchel could be.
He could be.
I don't think it'd be a bad appointment. I want him over.
Who would be his number 2? I reckon.
Don't know.
Anyway, call it a day there. This has been the weekend roundup show of myself, AGT,
Cash.
Abby,
Sorry,
Laurie, Cecilino. Shout out to the team. Shout out to production as well. It's been a long tournament, right? They do all the hard work behind the scenes. They get all the shows set up and ready. So a massive shout out and big love to production. Round of applause for them.
Big them up. Clap it up.
Social team. Production, everyone. Shout out to all you guys. You've been fantastic throughout the Euros, and you at home for rocking with us and supporting us throughout the process. Don't worry, next week we'll just get back to absolutely slagging off each other's football teams.
And we can't
Club
wait.
level.
Yeah.
Actually, wait, you lot are on pre-season. Just you and me, babe.
Oh, okay, just me and
2
Abby.
of us.
So
me and
you slagging each other off then.
Just the 2 of us.
Just.
All right, take care. We'll be back. All the best.